Hi guys, welcome to Hoops Junction. Today the trade deadline has expired and we're here picking up the pieces and sweeping up the floor after the dust has settled. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the dust has finally settled and we're going to just go over a few moves and break down what we think about them and if you should be excited for them or if you should just be plain disappointed. Right off the bat, we're going with the Cleveland Cavaliers acquiring Channing Frye in a 3-team trade, sending Jared Cunningham in a draft pick to Orlando, sending Andre Anderson-Varejao to the Portland Trail Blazers, and they acquired Channing Frye. That trade, it's a pretty good trade for them in terms of what they want to do. The Cavs are trying to play faster and smaller. Channing Frye definitely spreads the floor, which allows Kyrie Irving and LeBron James more room to operate. The only disappointment I have about that is when you get a Channing Frye, he's not necessarily the best defender at this stage in his career. And he's not necessarily the best rebounder. That being said, bringing him in is not going to be that much of a difference, especially defensively. They might even take a step backwards. To me, the Cavaliers did not need any more shooters. They needed more playmakers. They needed like a Jeff Green. As crazy as it sounds, they needed like another, like a Lance Stevenson. As crazy as it sounds, they need more playmakers. Championship teams have numerous playmakers. If you look at the Warriors, the Spurs, just any team that has won the championship in the last 5 years, they had a whole bunch of playmakers. You know, from Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Kawhi Leonard, Tim Duncan, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, just playmakers. They had shooters, but they had playmakers. So I think that's what the Cavaliers pretty much messed up, and they really didn't get a playmaker that could be dynamic. They needed someone that's dynamic. Okay, the Thunder, they went ahead and got Randy Foye for DJ Augustine and Steve Novak, and right then and there, to me, that trade is about even because I don't see Randy Foye really doing anything better than DJ Augustine other than shooting the three. And the way that Russell Westbrook has been playing, I think that Randy Foye will get a chance to have a lot of open threes because Russell has been passing the ball really, really well. I'm so proud of him. So I think Randy Foye could definitely help them somewhat, but I don't think it's going to be that noticeable of a difference. I think it will allow Russell Westbrook to actually play some more time at the two because Randy Foye does know how to run the point guard position. So I think in that regard it could help. But the fact that he's small and he's not really that dynamic, I don't think it's going to really make that much of a big difference for OKC. I think it adds another shooter and it's another player to run the point, which is a good backup for Russell. All right, moving on from there. Who else did we have today? We had Markieff Morris going to the Washington Wizards for DeJuan Blair and Chris Humphries. Now, for the Wizards, I don't like this trade at all because they're bringing in a dynamic player. He could play. He could stretch the floor. He's a pretty good defender, but he's a hothead. And you can't bring another hothead into a situation where you have one of the biggest hotheads in John Wall playing there. You know, it's going to be like a powder keg, and right now the Wizards are shaking it up, and all you need is just like the lighter. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not really too fond of the trade. I know that he can bring some stretch four action to the Wizards, which they actually need, but I don't like his attitude and mentality, especially with the fight that he just got into with his ex-teammate in Phoenix. So we'll see about that. Moving on, I think the Rockets actually absolutely dropped the ball in trading Donatas Motiejunas. I think that Motiejunas and also they traded Marcus Thornton to the Pistons, and I think that was a bad move, especially for what they got back from him. They got Anthony. I can't even remember his name. Anthony. I can't even remember his name. That's how bad it was in a draft pick. But the thing is, like, when healthy, Motiejunas was really a really good player for the Houston Rockets. He was awesome. He could stretch the floor at times. He could bang down low. He had great post moves. I would have traded him and got that little of a value. In terms of Detroit, they got a steal. I mean, not only do they get a player that like back up Drummond, get rebounds, he can shoot a little bit. They get a scrappy player, energetic player. They get right what they need, and they get Marcus Thornton, which is a serviceable player. You know, he could spend some time at the shooting guard. He could spend some time at the small forward at times, and he could pick up quick fouls for you if you need him to guard somebody. So I think that's the Pistons. They've been making out like bandits recently. They just been great move after great move after great move. So right now they're looking stacked right now for the next coming years. So I like that move for them. I think that's great. They're gonna do a excellent job. Now we're moving on to the 3-team trade that took place between the Bulls and I don't even know who did what because I'm thinking about the trade and I'm just thinking about out of all the players, it was the Bulls, the Hawks, and I believe it was. I want to say it was the Magic. I don't remember all the details from that trade, but that being said, that doesn't even matter. The Bulls traded away a really good backup in Kirk Hinrich. They got a player, Holiday, which he doesn't really know the system. I feel like the Bulls kind of just giving up on this year. They're just like, whatever, you know, we're slipping down. We might not even make the playoffs, so screw it. Let's trade Kirk Hinrich. And Kirk Hinrich is like, when he was healthy and when he was playing behind Derrick Rose, and when Rose got hurt, he always picked up the team when they needed him. He always guarded other team's hardest defenders. And he had the most chemistry with all the guys. So trading him just didn't make that much sense to me. I don't think that was a really good idea, especially if you're not really getting back anything good for him. So that being said, that trade didn't really make too much sense to me. And I think one of the best trades of the night, Jeff Green for Lance Stevenson. I think that was a great move on Doc Rivers' part. Get rid of Stevenson. He's a very flashy player. He didn't seem like he was gelling. You bring in Jeff Green, who's more of a system guy. You know, he knows his role. He plays his role very well. He's a athletic wing, something else that they needed, again, because they had, like, Paul Pierce. He's an old guy. They had Pablo Prigioni coming out the bench, old. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now you match him up with Wesley Johnson, and now you have Jeff Green, Chris Paul. So it's just like a fountain of youth right there. Have a big front line, and then you could have Green guard multiple positions, so you could guard small guys, you could guard large, tall guys. So that being said, I feel like it's a good game. Only thing about Green is this: Green has his moments. He has moments where you're looking at him like, this guy is a star, and then you have moments where it's just like, what are you doing? Like, don't you remember like who you are? Like, don't say you're a damn good player. So that being said, I think the trade's gonna work out 100% really well for him if he can remember that I am a great player as well. He steps into his role. He does what he has to do, and he's not timid on the floor. If he comes into LA timid, they're not gonna feel the full effect. But if he comes in there with the mentality, I'm gonna attack, I'm gonna set screens, I'm going to cut hard, things of that nature, I think that helps the Clippers, especially in their playoff aspirations. So those are my thoughts on some of the trades that were made today. Nothing too flashy, but some things that could really help teams later on. We'll be looking to see how Jeff Green plays out. We'll be looking to see how Channing Frye plays out for the Cavs. Because Kenny the Jet Smith, he made an interesting point. The Cleveland Cavaliers traded to get Frye as if they know they're gonna be in the NBA Finals. So if they get to the finals and Channing Frye is still there, in the rotation, will that have been a great move or have been an awful move? Will he be giving up a lot of points on defense, or will he be making it up on offense? So that's something I'm really interested to see. But those are my thoughts on the trades. Let me know which one you thought was the best trade. By far, I think the Pistons made out the best. They got Monty Eunice and they got Tobias Harris. So, I mean, damn, that's like, two 2-0 right there. So let me know what trades you liked and which ones you didn't like. This is Vlad from Hoops Junction, where hoops meets hoopla. Peace.